story we're following today, election results. A big day yesterday. After an intense campaign season, Oklahoma City residents re-elect Mayor David Holt.
And Mayor Holt won with 60% of the vote. He needed more than 50, and you topped that, Mr. Mayor. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Just your thoughts after, elections can be kind of crazy sometimes.
Sure.
Your thoughts after winning with more than the majority.
Yeah, I mean, as you said, it was kind of intense. There was $400,000 spent by the other campaigns. So even though history may show 60% and make it seem like it was an easy deal, it's never an easy deal. And certainly there was a lot of vitriol. And I think, though, in the end, what I was most heartened by was the turnout. And I don't know if you've talked about that yet,
yes.
but this was the highest number of voters to show up for an Oklahoma City mayor's race since 1959.
Wow, yeah.
So it felt really not just the percentages and the victory, but the number of people who came out really felt validating, really felt like they were rejecting that contentious campaign, that partisan campaign. And we're really saying what I've been saying for 4 years is we need to have a mayor who brings us together as one OKC, who works across party lines, who works across geographic lines. And it's certainly, having won basically every part of the city yesterday, I feel like that approach was definitely validated. And I'm so grateful to the people of Oklahoma City for coming out in basically near record numbers.
Yeah, I know when the polls were almost closed last night, there was still a long line at many polling places.
We don't have lines in municipal elections.
We don't. We truly don't, Mayor.
When I saw pictures of people, people were texting me pictures of these long lines, and I was like, what is this, a presidential election? I mean, that's rare, so it was good.
What does that tell you, and what do you take away from that going into this new term of office?
We definitely have a mandate. I mean, definitely feel that what we've been doing, whether you look at the investments in core services like police, fire, streets, transit, or you look at the investments in quality of life through MAPS 4, or you just look at the general approach of inclusion that I have taken, I feel like all of that was validated yesterday, very much so. And the things that we had to do the last 2 years in response to the pandemic or response to the murder of George Floyd, those things were also obviously a part of this conversation. And again, it feels as if the people of Oklahoma City now had their opportunity to say what they felt about those actions over the last 2 years. And obviously, as the mayor, I feel validated that they agree with what we've done, and they're ready to move forward now into a new chapter.
Well, you still have your running shoes on because there's still a lot of work to do. I know with MAPS, the South Side project. What are kind of top of mind projects for you as you start a new term?
Well, as I talked about in the campaign, I mean, we've got to execute and continue to implement these many hundreds of street projects. It's always the biggest complaint in Oklahoma City. The size of the city makes our streets an endless battle, right? And so we've got $800 million the voters approved 5 years ago. We got to keep implementing that. We got to hire up the police department. We got the authorization from the voters 5 years ago for 120 new officers. We got to continue to work to fill those positions. I think that's really important. And then obviously MAPS 4, implementing it. I mean, several of the other candidates in this race said they were going to end MAPS. So that's now not happening thanks to what happened yesterday. We're going to do MAPS, and we're going to do MAPS 4 as it was promised. And this is a big year for it. We're going to start having our first groundbreakings this year. So that's the obvious stuff. I think there's things that people haven't maybe talked about as much. Like, I think we need to have a community conversation about public transit. We have a regional transit authority now that's formed between Edmond, Oklahoma City, Edmond, Norman, Del City. That's below the radar for most people, but I think that's going to be a rising discussion over the next 4 years. Still like to have a conversation about public education. Mayor doesn't have anything to do with that in our form of government, but I think he can convene the people that need to have that conversation, and let's continue to work on that. And then I also fully recognize that as mayor, as the face of any community, you're going to face unknown unknowns, and we certainly had that the last 2 years. And some of them are going to be bad, and some of them are going to be good. We're getting opportunities as the 22nd largest city in the United States that we've never seen before. So being able to meet those challenges, seize those opportunities, is also what I look forward to. And those are things I can't predict today, but I know they're coming.
All right. Well, I know you do a lot with the mayor's conference as well. Mr. Mayor, congratulations to you.
Thank you very
Thanks
much.
for coming in. We really appreciate it.
Nice to have you in studio.
Yes, I haven't been in this one in a while, and I'm excited that the next time we may sit here might be downtown.
It'll be downtown.
Well, we hope you come here before we move down there now. We want to hold you to that one.
All right, fair enough.
Congratulations again.
Thank you.
We have all of those election results, by the way, at news9.com.
All right, coming up. Hey, don't forget Valentine's Day. It's next Monday, right?
Thank you,
Your wife.
thank you.
I saw her out there campaigning for you. We're going to be